Well, like with most things, I am highly late on this. Shoot, I'll probably be late for my own funeral. Hello everyone, the 25th Genius is back with another Webtoon review, and what a Webtoon review I have for you. I'm very excited to share this amazing series with you and why is it so good. But before that, there are just two things that I want you to know. If you like this video and whatever that I do, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more Webtoon and even anime content. Wherever I can have the time to do and try to do well, I will do that for you. Help a struggling content creator out. Number two, I'm going to start this now. I'm going to put a spoiler alert because the best way to really thoroughly explain this webtoon is by spoiling just a little bit of parts of it. But if you don't mind spoilers, then join in for the ride. And what a webtoon that I have to tell you, because man, let me tell you, this webtoon is pretty good off the bat. I'm just gonna tell you right now. But you may be thinking, but you're the 25th Genius. Why haven't you known about this series? Well, I have a lot of explanations for that, okay? So it's not that I didn't know about this series. Okay, look, it's like 3 reasons why I didn't really read the series up until now. One, I just didn't really have the time. You know, moving to Japan and all of this other stuff, I never really had the time, even though I've heard it around, you know, here and there. Oh, solo leveling is so good, etc., etc., etc. Two, I thought that when you said solo leveling, I thought it was this series right here, which is the Hardcore Leveling Warrior, which is not a terrible series. I just did not understand the hype. I literally went like 50 chapters into this, and I'm like, I just don't see what the pure hype, like this must get an anime type of thing wasn't. It's not a bad webtoon, but if I have to really tell you what to read, and I gave you an order, like you hands down, you would just read solo leveling. Like it's like this solo leveling is tier 0 and hardcore leveling is not on the tier list. Like it's literally like the best burger joint and you have McDonald's. Like tier 0, tier 3, you know, caviar, some eggs you got at your mama's place. Like you get the point. This series is good, but it nowhere near competes with solo leveling warrior at all, period, hands down. Now, is it better than Top God? Of course not, you thought. But well, with the new season that actually is out now, actually, so it's just more amazing content that needs to be created. And I thought it would be very appropriate to really just talk about this webtoon series and all the many ways about why it's so good. I'm just gonna be honest with you, I really can't find a single thing wrong with this series. I'm not saying that it's perfect, but the issues that I have with it are so mediocre that like I shouldn't really talk about them. But to break the idea that it's a perfect webtoon, I do want to talk heavily a little bit about those flaws. But honestly, there's only 3 reasons why you just do not like this webtoon. No, okay, there are 3 reasons why you don't want to, you just don't think it's a good webtoon. Either A, you just don't like webtoons or webcomics. B, you've never heard of it. I don't get how. Or 3, you are probably dead, so I'm probably talking to a ghost. But with that being said, this is a pretty cold series, and I even myself rushed it, and my friends have rushed it. So yeah, I'm going to try my best in the most eloquent way. I'm not really eloquent, but oh well. About why this series is so good. So what is this series about, that you may ask? The word is called Na Hunjaman Level Up, which literally translates into I alone level up. Look, I am trying my hardest to learn Korean. Let me get this once. And if you are looking for something that is very similar to Hunter x Hunter, if you like Hunter x Hunter, you could stop no further. You know how I talk about how Tower of God is very similar to Hunter x Hunter? Well, this literally looked like it just kidnapped the author, beat him up, changed his face, and gave him a new identity. Because literally, they fight an Ant King at the end of the first arc. This is so derived from Hunter x Hunter. Now, the story follows about this. It's about a character by the name of Jin Sung, okay? In a world of hunters, what are hunters exactly? Hunters are basically superhumans. So what happened in their world is that a dimension opened up. And this dimension created beasts and monsters and dungeons and, you know, mythical things, but also a lot of money beyond their wildest dreams. But it also created superhumans to fight that. So when the portals opened, all these superhumans, or the chosen ones, became awakened. Awakened, of course, as you can already guess, just means that they, they just gained these superpowers. And then we go into our main character by Ji Sung-woo, whose level was so low he was considered the weakest ranker of the entire world. So again, this is a whole world. It's not just Korea, and he was considered the weakest because he just generally couldn't do nothing. He was so weak, he was always getting healed by his best friend, who was tired of it, who he should have smashed, by the way. But that's another topic. So one day, he gets into this dungeon because he's using this money that he needs for his mama and his family, so he pretty much has no choice. And this dungeon was basically rigged, and this is a very major plot point in Solo Leveling, by the way. It's always a mixed up dungeon for some reason. It's part of the plot. So he encounters this dungeon, and basically out of the elite squadron that went into the dungeon, more than half of them perished. All except for Ji-sung and a few of his others, including his best friend, who he should have been smashing. But what happened after that was he gained this ability called Reawakening. So Reawakening works under extreme cases. So let's say, for example, you in a game, right? And you basically want to reset your stats. Maybe you want like higher intelligence or maybe higher power. Basically, Reawakening is like resetting your stats, which can make you weaker or it can make you stronger. It said in the text that those who were E ranked or D ranked became even A to maybe even S ranked hunters. But it doesn't seem like he does this very well. Even though there was a big computer, standing there, he didn't tell the authorities, there's a computer, there's a computer. This is not normal. But nevertheless, he remained silent. It turns out that his Reawakening was a little different from most because he gained the ability to be an administrator. So as more as you read into Solo Leveling, it's kind of confirmed that this is kind of like a game. And basically, Ji Sung-woo, so long as he respects the rules of the game, is basically an administrator. So he doesn't follow the exact rules that other hunters have to follow, which grants him amazing affluent power. So basically, if you read the webtoon like the gamer, in a sense where the whole thing is treated like a game, that's exactly what happens here. So basically, everything that he does, everything that he levels up, or how he does going forward, is all treated like a game. And he must fulfill certain conditions or he perishes. But if he survives, then he's granted with more power than he could ever have wanted in his wildest dreams. The reason why this show is so good is for a lot of reasons. One, again, I like how the world is definitely fleshed out. The world is very intricate, even though it's not intricate. I love the power level of Solo Leveling because the power level isn't really defined, but it's defined enough for you to understand what's going on. And I think that's great because certain series, like maybe even One Punch Man, the thing that I feel, it's a good show, but the thing that generally happens is that it's like you kind of have a pretty much set power system. With Solo Leveling, it is that, but you're left to the interpretation of what abilities and how strong these people are, especially when you get to the S-ranked hunters. You're kind of just guessing what their limits are and what really they can do and their capabilities, which I just really like how the webtoon just allows you to really open up and to really dive deep into that power system for your own self and not needing the text to really tell you in itself. Another reason why this webtoon series is so good is because of the main character. Now, let's be honest. The main character, seems asexual as all given, but there's more deeper thing about his character than meets the eye. One thing I really love about his character is that he never was annoying. Like, he was very weak and very pitiful, but he never was absolutely annoying. You never got tired of him being him. Like, he was just weak. Like, he had a lot of strong bases, but he never was just such a punk to where he always got toppled over. And you always felt that way. You never really wanted him to get stronger right away. You just was waiting for the plot to just change at a certain point in time. But another thing about this main character's character is two things that I'll break down. One is the fact that though he is basically the strongest being in the Webtoon series, well, as of right now, he never really feels like he is the strongest character. Even when he was gaining all this power, the main character always was very respectful for those who are higher powered than him. Especially in the earlier bits of the Webtoon, he knew who to fight and he knew who he couldn't really fight. And that's really good because there are shows like One Punch Man, for example, and I like using this because it's a great example, where again, I like the world and I like the world building, but the issue with a super overly one-powered character is that it's like a one-trick pony in my eyes to an extent, where you're not really looking for there's really nothing to really watch except for just someone who beats someone in one punch, which is supposed to be a parody, but at the end of the day, if you are trying to watch an anime series, it's like, oh, that's it. But what Gamer and what Solo Leveling really does to fix this is simply it kind of makes it more enjoyable to watch. Like with Jihan Han from the Gamer, right? Like, you know, he's basically the strongest character of the show, but it's always good to see like his world building. It's all good to see the ways that he uses his ability to get stronger and to really combat enemies who are actually stronger than him even to this day. And it kind of becomes more of an enjoyable, kind of more of a comedic thing, you know, but it's good to see, like, it's good to see him work. That's what's good about Solo Leveling in terms of main character in the power system, is that his hard work is not without, his leveling up is not without hard work. He puts a lot of work into really getting to where he is today. Like, he always was a go-getter. He always was just really strong. He always was extremely, like, just really driven. And when he just needed plot to come in, and plot came in and gave him what he needed. There was one part in which to get his ability, to his secret ability, which hopefully I don't have to spoil it. He had to fight, he had to kill everything. Well, he had to survive as long as he could. If he was able to kill everyone, he would get a special ability. And he's grinding, he's doing all he can, and he doesn't even feel like he can do it. He feels like he's on the verge of death, but he keeps going because he wants to be stronger. He wants to be there for his sister. He wants to be there for his mother. And so he finds the inner strength within him to basically complete the task and to become more powerful. And he does this over several times. The game is not nice to him in terms of giving him tasks and leveling him up. It is very cruel to him, but he always answers that cruelty with just more vigor and more will, and what was really very respectable. It wasn't just him just getting a bunch of power and now he's the strongest. It's him working for that power that I definitely enjoyed seeing going into watching this amazing Webtoon series. But you see, the world of characters is not just limited to our lovely Shujinko here. It is with other characters as well. Like, the thing about not having a set power system in my eyes is that you are very more curious about what all these characters can do, especially when you're introduced with more S-rank characters. You're really just curious about what these people can do and how they can really do them. I was just really intrigued by, you know, the affluent S-ranks that came within the final arc. I was really curious about the Japanese hunter. I was definitely curious about my girl, which I'm gonna place right here. Ooh, she is so fine. Like, I don't know what dude is thinking. Like, this girl right here. Okay, look, this is main character. Okay, I pledge my allegiance to Cha. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the United States of Cha right here. Like, this is best girl of this series. Webtoons, I don't care. Like, I absolutely love this girl. She is so beautiful. She is so powerful. Like, Jesus, I can't get enough of her. But enough about that little breakdown right there. You're definitely just like really intrigued with all of the amazing characters that you get, and that's not because you really don't know what they can do. And, you know, maybe, of course, it's going to be fixed when, you know, the series progresses, but it's really good right now just to be kept in the mystery behind, so that we can just see, you know, the growth of our characters and the development of the world as a whole. Now, if I really have to pick one or a few things that is wrong with this series, here we go. The biggest thing that I feel is what was wrong with this series is simply just the beginning and the last arc. That's it. I feel like the main chapter, the first like 7 chapters, which explained the arc of how he got his power, could have been shortened up just a little bit. But again, it was very enjoyable, and that's just me being very, very, very nitpicky. And in the ending, when the whole arc was done, I felt like the other episodes were just very wasted. You really didn't know much of anything. It was just basically like, I guess they had enough episodes, so they just really filled it in with really whatever they could. You did find out that, you know, he, even though he seems very limitless, our main character here, he's not really even now, he's still not the strongest character, and there's a whole more vaster world for this guy to conquer, which again, it just blew like my absolute mind, because at the end you're pretty set that, like, you know, he worked his way to become the strongest S rank that Korea or even the world has ever had, and now you're kind of just challenged with the thought that nope, he's still got a long way to go. Like I said, again, it just really makes this webtoon more riveting, more interesting, more absolutely amazing. Like, I don't want to say perfect, but definitely, if you don't like this webtoon, you definitely have to respect what it does. And of course, it derives from one of the best shonens of all time, Hunter x Hunter, which I will always say, if Hunter x Hunter actually acted right, it literally hands down, even over like Gintama, which is my favorite, would be like the best shonen to have ever been made. Like, there's just Hunter x Hunter just does everything right to me. And so does like Solo Leveling. Like, it's a great read. You're never going to get bored. It's always going to be something interesting. They do have a few, like, just, you know, common cliches that you'll kind of see going forward, but really it's just going to be very interesting to see what your main character can do and how powerful that he is and how the other S rankers just interact with him too. All in all, this series is an absolutely amazing webtoon series, and again, if you're just not watching it, unfortunately, you're just really sleeping. I'm sorry. Like, definitely do check this out. I'll send links down in the description below about where you can read this amazing series. And yeah, I hope you get to reading soon. Yeah, that is my review on Solo Leveling Warrior. Again, I do think Hardcore Leveling Warrior is an okay series, so I do plan to do a series about that as soon as I finish like the chapters of the webtoon and whatnot. But with that being said, yeah, that is it. If you like this video, tell me what you think about Solo Leveling in the comments section down below. Are you excited for season 2 that's coming out? Like, what do you expect out of Solo Leveling going into the second season? Talk with me about it. Also, don't forget, if you actually like this review